The psychology of a deep thinker is a fascinating journey into the inner workings of the human mind, where every thought is a thread in a complex and beautiful tapestry. While most people are content to skim the surface of life, taking things at face value and moving quickly from one task to the next, deep thinkers operate on a completely different frequency. They are the individuals who find themselves lost in contemplation about the origins of the universe, the intricacies of human emotion, or the silent mechanics of a clock. To understand the mind of a deep thinker is to understand a world that is quiet on the outside, but incredibly loud and vibrant on the inside. At the core of this personality type is a trait known as high sensitivity to internal stimuli. While the average person might see a fallen leaf and think simply that autumn has arrived, a deep thinker might see that same leaf and begin a mental odyssey. They might consider the biological process of decay, the metaphor of letting go, or the passage of time as it relates to their own life. This isn't something they do to appear intellectual or different. It is simply how their brain is wired. They have a natural inclination to process information more thoroughly than others, which often leads them to unique insights that others might miss. One of the most defining characteristics of deep thinkers is their need for solitude. In a world that often prizes extroversion and constant social interaction, the deep thinker finds their greatest strength in the quiet moments of being alone. This isn't because they are necessarily antisocial or shy, although some may be, but rather because solitude provides the necessary environment for their thoughts to flourish. When they are in a crowded room or a noisy environment, their brain is bombarded with so much external data that it becomes difficult to focus on the internal dialogue that they value so much. Solitude acts as a laboratory where they can conduct experiments of the mind without interruption. This need for quiet often leads to a preference for meaningful conversation over small talk. Deep thinkers generally find casual discussions about the weather or celebrity gossip to be draining and unfulfilling. They crave depth and substance. They want to know what makes a person tick, what their biggest fears are, and what they hope to leave behind in this world. Because of this, they often have a small circle of very close friends rather than a wide network of acquaintances. They value quality over quantity in every aspect of their lives, especially when it comes to human connection. The internal world of a deep thinker is often characterized by a high degree of empathy. Because they spend so much time analyzing their own feelings and motivations, they are naturally better equipped to understand the feelings and motivations of others. They are the friends who notice when something is wrong, even if you are wearing a smile. They can sense the subtle shifts in energy and tone that others might overlook. This empathy is a double-edged sword, however. While it allows them to form deep and lasting bonds, it also means they take on the emotional weight of the world around them, which can sometimes lead to feelings of overwhelm or melancholy. Observation is another hallmark of the deep thinker. They are the ones standing at the edge of the party, watching the way people interact. They notice the micro-expressions, the unspoken tensions, and the hidden harmonies of a social gathering. This observational skill isn't just limited to people, it extends to everything. They might spend an hour watching how the light changes on a wall, or how a specific bird builds its nest. This intense focus on detail allows them to appreciate the beauty in the mundane and find patterns where others see only chaos. However, being a deep thinker is not without its challenges. The most common struggle is the tendency to overthink. Because their minds are constantly seeking patterns and meanings, they can sometimes get stuck in a loop of analysis paralysis. A simple decision like what to eat for dinner or which book to read next can become a monumental task as they weigh every possible outcome and implication. This can lead to anxiety and a sense of being frozen in place. They might spend so much time preparing for a journey that they never actually leave the house. Furthermore, deep thinkers often feel like outsiders. In a society that moves at a frantic pace and values quick results, their slower and more deliberate approach can be misunderstood. They might be labeled as slow or indecisive or even aloof. This can lead to a sense of loneliness even when they are surrounded by people. They often feel like they are speaking a different language than everyone else, or that they are seeing colors that others cannot perceive. Despite these challenges, the contributions of deep thinkers to society are immeasurable. Throughout history, the greatest philosophers, scientists, artists, and writers have been people who dared to think deeply. They are the ones who ask the why instead of just the how. They are the ones who challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of what is possible. Without deep thinkers, we would not have the theories of relativity, the masterpieces of the Renaissance, or the profound insights into the human condition found in classic literature. Interestingly, the psychology of deep thinking is often linked to a trait called introversion. But it is important to note that extroverts can also be deep thinkers. The difference lies in where they get their energy and how they process that depth. An introverted deep thinker might process their thoughts in silence, while an extroverted deep thinker might need to talk through their complex ideas with others to fully grasp them. Regardless of their social battery, the underlying mechanism of intense mental processing remains the same. Another fascinating aspect of the deep thinker's mind is their relationship with time. They often have a non-linear perception of it. While they are physically present in the moment, their minds might be wandering through the past or projecting into the future. They are deeply reflective, often revisiting memories to extract more meaning or lessons from them. This retrospective nature helps them grow and evolve as individuals, but it can also make it difficult for them to stay grounded in the present. Deep thinkers also tend to have a very strong internal moral compass. Because they spend so much time reflecting on ethics and values, they often have a very clear sense of what they believe is right and wrong. They are less likely to follow the crowd and more likely to stand up for what they believe in, even if it makes them unpopular. Their integrity is born out of a long process of internal debate and conviction. In their professional lives, deep thinkers often excel in roles that require complex problem-solving, creativity, and strategic planning. They are the ones who can see the long-term consequences of a decision and anticipate potential hurdles. They are not satisfied with quick fixes or surface-level solutions. They want to get to the root of the problem and fix it from the inside out. This makes them invaluable in fields like research, engineering, writing, and counseling. The emotional life of a deep thinker is rich and multifaceted. They experience joy deeply, but they also experience sadness with the same intensity. They are prone to periods of existential questioning, wondering about their purpose and the meaning of life. These periods can be difficult, but they often lead to profound personal breakthroughs and a deeper understanding of themselves. They are seekers of truth, and they are willing to go through the darkness to find it. To support a deep thinker in your life, it is important to give them the space they need. Understand that their silence isn't a sign of boredom or unhappiness, but rather a sign that their mind is busy working. Encourage their curiosities and engage with them on topics that matter. Don't push them to make quick decisions or force them into shallow social situations. Most importantly, appreciate the unique perspective they bring to the table. They see the world in high definition, and their insights can often help you see things in a whole new way. If you are a deep thinker yourself, it is important to find balance. While your ability to think deeply is a gift, it is also important to learn how to turn it off occasionally. Engaging in physical activities like sports, hiking, or even just cleaning can help ground you in your body and give your mind a rest. Learning to practice mindfulness can also help you stay in the present moment and reduce the tendency to overthink. Embrace your depth, but don't let it drown you. Ultimately, the psychology of deep thinkers is a testament to the incredible capacity of the human brain. It shows us that there is so much more to life than what meets the eye. Deep thinkers remind us to slow down to ask questions and to appreciate the mystery of existence. They are the quiet observers, the thoughtful innovators, and the compassionate souls who keep the world from becoming too shallow. In their silence, there is wisdom, and in their depth, there is a profound beauty that enriches us all. They often find solace in the arts, because art is a language that speaks to the soul. Whether it is music that captures an unspeakable emotion or a painting that reflects the complexity of the human spirit, deep thinkers find a sense of belonging in creative expression. They are often creators themselves, using their insights to produce work that resonates with others on a deep level. This creative output is their way of sharing their internal world with the rest of us. One should also consider the physiological side of deep thinking. Research suggests that the brains of deep thinkers may have different neural pathways that prioritize long-term memory and complex processing over quick reflexive responses. This means their brains are physically structured to favor depth over speed. This biological foundation explains why it is so difficult for a deep thinker to just stop thinking or to be superficial. It is not just a personality trait, it is a fundamental part of who they are. Living as a deep thinker in a digital age presents its own set of hurdles. The constant notifications, the endless scroll of social media, and the bite-sized nature of modern information are the antithesis of deep thought. Deep thinkers often feel a sense of digital fatigue as the shallow nature of the internet clashes with their need for depth. They might find themselves withdrawing from social media or seeking out long-form content like books and documentaries to satisfy their intellectual hunger. As we look toward the future, the role of the deep thinker becomes even more critical. In an era of artificial intelligence and automation, the things that make us uniquely human, our ability to think critically, to feel deeply, and to create meaning, will be more valuable than ever. Deep thinkers are the guardians of these human qualities. They are the ones who will ensure that as we move forward, we do not lose our connection to the deeper truths of our existence. The beauty of the deep thinker is found in their ability to find wonder in the small things. They can be moved to tears by a piece of music or find intense joy in a complex mathematical equation. Their world is one of infinite possibilities and hidden connections. By understanding the psychology behind their behavior, we can begin to bridge the gap between those who live on the surface and those who dwell in the depths. In conclusion, being a deep thinker is a complex and rewarding way to experience life. It requires a certain amount of courage to face the intensity of one's own mind and a certain amount of resilience to navigate a world that doesn't always value depth. But for those who possess this trait, it offers a life of richness, meaning, and profound connection. It is a journey into the heart of what it means to be human, and it is a journey that is well worth taking.